I have an email from Neha, who bought my new training, the Consistent Content Code. There'll be a link for that below. But she said, please tell something about what to do when we face a slump in motivation after 2 weeks of being consistent. Now, I have been there, and I do speak to this in that training. So Neha, I hope that has served you. But I want to talk about motivation specifically in this video today. Now, the first thing you need to know is that motivation is a lie. Motivation doesn't actually get you anywhere other than possibly the first few steps on the path. And 2 weeks is about how far I would be able to go when I was doing things the way I was previously, trying to do fancy edits. And even when I had an editor, and you'd have thought that would have helped me stay more consistent, I was still trying to do exactly the same, where I was running on motivation, running on whether I felt like I should be creating videos rather than just fucking doing it. And I know that sounds harsh and I don't really mean it to be, but at some point you do need a kick up the arse and to make the commitment to just stay consistent and have discipline, I guess is another word for this. When it comes to being like ADHD, when it comes to being an overthinker or a perfectionist, both are closely tied to being ADHD, I have found that anything that you want to be consistent with, you have to do it in such a way that it becomes like cleaning your teeth. You know that you need to clean your teeth every morning or you're going to have bad breath, and every night or they're going to go rotten whilst you're sleeping. If you can start thinking about your video creation and what you're posting on social media as necessary and as habitual as doing your teeth, then consistency doesn't have to be such a hurdle. Now, for me, what I did was to make a commitment on the 1st of January this year that I was going to post every day of 2025. And I've kept that up. And in making that commitment, I have told myself that that has to happen. This is an ADHD thing as well. You make a plan, and if something goes wrong with the plan, that is what hurts. If you make the commitment to do something for a long amount of time, the commitment is there, the plan is there. What really fucks with you is something allowing that to not happen. So the first step towards moving away from needing motivation to create content and just doing it as part of discipline and habit is having the commitment that it has to happen. And don't let anything get in the way. And that might mean posting something that isn't the quality that you're used to putting out. You don't always have to have everything perfect. Perfectionism also does not serve you. So that was another thing that I used to do when I was doing the fancy edits and trying really hard with content. When you try that hard to make things perfect and polished, it's easier to give up on it because you're probably not going to see results straight away. And when you're putting in that much effort, it becomes harder to maintain just the desire to continue because it's difficult. So the other thing I would say to this in terms of needing motivation over discipline or habit, make it so it's like cleaning your teeth. If you had to do 5 different processes when cleaning your teeth, you probably wouldn't bother as much as you do anyway. I'm assuming that you're somebody that cleans their teeth. If you're not, clean your teeth. It's gross if you don't, you have bad breath. But it's literally, you put toothpaste on, you do your teeth. You do that for a couple of minutes, you put it down, you wash your mouth out. Simple, done. Any more than that, like this is why people don't floss, because it's an added process. If you can strip back what you're doing in terms of creating videos, you will be able to be more motivated, to stay more consistent, to create more of a habit. And then it does become discipline, and like you don't have to think about it so much. Again, an ADHD thing is decision fatigue. If you have too many options available to you and you have to think about what you're doing, you're probably going to burn out trying to make the decision rather than just getting on with it. This is why I absolutely advocate for making things as simple as possible. And this goes to what Tim Ferriss said, where the quote is that The imperfect plan you stick to is better than the perfect plan you give up on. Like, if you can do fancy editing, which I can, I've been editing for 15, 20 years at this point, I can do it. But I can't stay consistent with it. It doesn't keep me motivated. It doesn't allow me to want to continue doing that on a regular basis. I don't mind doing the odd one here and there. But if I'm posting every day on Instagram, I don't want to be doing heavy editing. If I'm sticking to doing one video on YouTube every week, I don't want to be doing heavy editing. And the thing is, the editing is only the cherry on top. So if you have a strong message, you don't need all the fancy bells and whistles, because you can just post it raw. There are videos out there. There's that guy from MIT in the mountains or something talking for 50 minutes with no editing that has got several million views. I think it might be up to 15 million views at this point. The editing does not matter. Unless, of course, you are trying to be like Mr. Beast and the editing is a massive part of what you're doing. But if you're struggling to stay motivated and consistent, that's probably not the best idea for you. Jimmy Donaldson is thoroughly obsessed with what he's doing. He doesn't need to feel motivated because his obsession overtakes the motivation. When you get to that point, add more layers of complexity in. Absolutely fine. But I think for now, that is everything that I wanted to say around motivation. Try and make things as simple as doing your teeth. Keep that in your mind, and consistency and discipline will become second nature. If you do want to pick up the consistent content code, there'll be a link for that down below. There will also be links for Content Made Easy and a longer training right here on YouTube about the Content Made Easy protocol with an invitation to work with me at the end. So if you want to go through that, go check that out. It will be the first link in the description. I hope this all makes sense to you. I've kind of just been riffing off the top of my head, and sometimes that's all you need to stay motivated. Stop overthinking what you're doing, allow yourself to riff, and then forget your train of thought. Thankfully, I'm at the end of this video, so I hope it all makes sense. I hope this helps, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.